G'day viewers, well, been pretty hectic the last couple of days, no videos. First I got some new scores, a nice 10 watt LED floodlight, bloody bright. Haven't even charged it yet since I bought this from the shop. More as a demo, sitting on the shelf, so it's not even fully charged. Look how bright it is, pretty good. Got that charger, and the shop that I bought this lights from sold lots of new old stock equipment, and some of the scores I found had pygmy bulbs, even the long extinct incandescent light bulb, some 200 watt ones. Check that out. It's just new old stock, made in Hungary, GE light bulb. See, I got the old style dot solder on the bottom of it. Check that out, eh? 200 watt incandescent light bulb. One for the collector. You just don't see those anymore. For $7, it's a bloody bargain. Had another 6 of them on the shelf, but and I had the room and the room in the car, that is. I would have chucked them, probably bought them all, but they are getting harder to find, yeah, but I just don't have the bloody, as I said before, the safe space to put them. I don't want it getting broken. Anyway, quite nice. I decided to get a larger SSD for this computer, mainly because I had trouble on my Steam games. I could not get my Steam games to work on the hard drive, but run, because how I had it installed when I copied everything over, Steam will only run if it's on the C drive, and the games have to be on the same drive that Steam is installed on. Originally my plan was to have the Steam and all the main programs for the OS all on the SSD, and the big files like the games on a hard drive. I could just have the shortcuts and just run everything off onto the hard drive, so I could play the Steam games on the hard drives while still having the SSD, not filling it up. But apparently I can't really do that, because now the stuff Steam wants to download is completely filled up my 120 gigabyte SSD. I have read reviews on this one, and from the reviews that I've read, this drive has a really high read and write cycle on it. It's a pretty long-lasting SSD, so it shouldn't be a problem with this one. So I decided to go for a 512 gigabyte model because of all the Steam games I've got. It's going to fill it up, so I'll get a bit of extra space just so I don't fill it up too quickly. And this one has a pretty good review. It tells you just as good as the Kingston. And this particular series has a really high read and write life cycle on it, and the 120 gigabyte one out of my other computer is going to go in here. I did decide to go ahead and bought an upgrade motherboard and RAM for this one, and put the original motherboard in out of this one in our original office computer. The dad sort of complained it was too slow and wired it up. I wanted to upgrade, so I decided to put another new motherboard in this one, and the old gear out of here into that computer, because the gear in here is still pretty good, so it'd be bloody awesome for what it needs it for. Anyway, I've definitely kept the backup too, so keep an extra hard drive on each computer to back up the contents off the SSD, and just do frequent backups, just in case I do go shit pickle, so to speak. So always keep a big ass hard drive, bigger the way your SSD is, to back up onto frequently. That way I'm not going to be left in the dark should these fail sometime in the future. After many hours of stuffing around, I found this program, Upgradage Reflect. I tried Samsung's Migrate, that only works with Samsung SSDs. Seagate Disk Wizard, for some reason, will not recognise this SSD, even though I've initialised it and formatted it with Windows, and Windows recognises it, but not Seagate Disk Wizard. So I've got this, which works with everything, and so far it's working. So hopefully we can get a perfectly good clone, and I'll swap those those drives over and give it a good test and make sure it all boots up and works properly before I go ahead and get the original one out, put that ready for my other computer. So I have got an extra hard drive in there. I'm not going to use a 500 gig one. That's not going to be used just solely for backing this up onto so we're still going to be safe if the SSD does happen to die one day. So it's always good to have a good extra bigger hard drive that's unused just for that purpose, especially when you've got SSDs. Main reason being I want a big SSD because I want everything to be fast on this thing. Anyway, let's when that finishes I'll give it a good test. Then I can go ahead and get my other parts ready to get my other computer upgraded. Okay, we're ready for the transfer now. We've got 16 gigabytes of RAM and another 16 gigabytes of RAM. This is it's the 2133 megahertz. It was not the highest, that supports 3000. So that was the upper mid range, and that's upper mid range of everything. Made in Taiwan too, so I've found most of the stuff, especially computer parts, if they're made in Taiwan now, based on in the past, they actually last quite a long time compared to the Chinese computer manufactured computer parts. So they do make slightly better quality parts in Taiwan compared to China, from what I've experienced with in the past. The board's made in China, but it's designed in Taipei, so technologically they actually do a better job to make. I've always liked Asus and both Gigabyte are both good manufacturers, so I have Asus with one machine and Gigabyte in the other. Quite like our Gigabyte's ultra durable design and everything. It's quite a nice board. Now the one I said I was going to get was a yellow one. This is the same board I mentioned in the other video a while back, but this is a black edition. Z97X chipset, as the other one's got the B85. I decided to get the Z97X, which supports all the overclocking and everything. M2 and Express SATA. Probably won't use that, but it's good to have. But you cannot use that and that at the same time, so it'll be one or the other. Either way, it's all 10 gigabytes per second there. Anyway, let's get transferring over. That is staying, just the board is going to be swapped. The board in this one, the graphics card and the TV card are going to stay and go on that board, and the this graphics card and this I probably might use that actually. I don't use that. That's a LAN. I think that's a dial-up card. That was in the old MSI motherboard computer. That's going to go on that Gigabyte board in there. That's a GTX 9600 GT. That runs Crysis and Half-Life 2 good at their maximum settings, so that's still quite a good card. So that board there is going to go in the old MSI case from the old other 98 computer I've got that I showed earlier. So I'm going to use that. As probably use this motherboard, base it on a little MAME system or something. Keep the hard drive with the XP operating system that's on it, because it's going to be one of my retro computers in my collection. There's a processor I already had. That's a Core i7, the second one down from the 4790K. It's still a pretty good processor, but I'm going to put that in this one. I've got to go look for my Arctic Silver heat sink compound for that. Put that on there, back that on. Pretty much all ready to go. SSD and everything's in. Just going to put the right screws in, because for some reason the screws that came with the caddy are binding up and not, the threads are all stripped. Something like the debug CPU display. That's kind of cool. So that's card reader there is going to come out and go on that case, and this card reader here is going to go in there. The USB 3 one. It's got a charger and everything on it. I ran into a bit of a technical problem. And when I got this originally built back in 2009, this original computer here in this case, the requirement for the power supply, this must have been this is just a normal power supply that but the requirement here only had the 4-pin auxiliary ATX 12-volt connector. Does not have the 8-pin that I need, the 2x4 one. It's just got this one on there. This particular model power supply doesn't come with that, it's only got one, so I should have double checked that. But anyway, I bought a nice Seasonic one. Had all Japanese capacitors in it, 850 watt instead of the 550. I always got a little bit higher in power requirement for a pretty good price, so that should be here within 2 days. So the other computer I got now, the other computer, has the 8-pin, and that's from 2007. This is from 2009. Don't know why I got the notion to assume that they all come with it as they got newer, but nah. Oh, that's no drama. That's going to go in there then. Probably a good call, because this is actually quite a cheap power supply. I don't know what the reliability of it is. It's a 450 watt, this one. 460 actually. Looking inside. Yeah. 2007 date. The heat sinks are pretty flimsy. And I don't think that has Japanese capacitors in it, so it's probably a good thing that I did get the upgrade power supply. Yeah, it's quite a cheap power supply, so it's best to put the one out of that one in here. And put the good one in that one, the Seasonic one, and it'll be ready. So, anyway. It's coming along quite nicely. Here's my graphics card. Doing a bit of a dust out. Quite a nice looking card actually. It does support SLI too, so if I had another one of those, I could put 2 of those in SLI mode. Imagine that. It rates, I think, 2nd on the list on the Maxon Cinema 4D tests, the benchmark. So it's not the best by today's standards, but it's still a pretty damn good card. Anyway, I have to just get ready to remove this power supply out. I'll just set up the connectors to the hard drive and everything. Then I gotta ghost that onto here. Then I gotta run through all the procedure to the hardware changes to the existing Windows installation. I think you have to reactivate it too, but that's no big drama. Anyway, we should have double checked that first, eh? Ah well, because I was looking forward to getting this all built and finished today, but doesn't look like that's going to happen. Anyway, that'll be enough for now. Thanks so much.